All right, well, welcome for those who are joining us. I'm just going to give a few more minutes, let a few other people trickle in. Thank you so much for tuning in today to learn about our newest program, Ready for Rehab. I'm so grateful to have Jennifer Riggs join us, who's a transaction supervisor, and our Director of Sales and Development, Alexandria Riley. And for those who've been following, she has been one of our premier speakers throughout this entire series. So I'm very grateful for her to join us again. I'm going to give it one more minute. Just a note to begin. So in our last session, we talked about, or 2 sessions ago, excuse me, we talked about how to purchase poor and substandard condition properties through the land bank. This session is actually going to talk about how we're fast tracking some of the purchases of poor condition properties and how we're advertising them on a weekly basis for people to learn how to purchase them. So I'm very excited. This is a new innovative program, and this is definitely designed based off of feedback we received from people who have undergone buying properties through our poor condition protocols. So with that said, I'm going to go ahead and start with our agenda. So again, my name is Moses. I'll be emceeing. I have Alexandria Riley, the Director of Sales and Development here, and Jennifer Riggs, Transaction Supervisor. They will provide an overview of what is the Ready for Rehab program, what are some key takeaways that people should be aware of, and just the different transaction timelines that people need to note. And then we'll have time for Q&A, and we have some questions already submitted in advance. Thank you for all those who've done that. This is the most questions we received before a lunch break with the land bank. So I'm very excited to dig into those questions. So I always begin with just letting people know how to contact the Genesee County Land Bank at this time. We are still closed to the public due to wanting to mitigate the spread of COVID. So we are by appointment only if you come into the office. You can reach us by phone. So we have our number listed there. It's 810-257-3088. And there are different commands to get in touch with different departments here at the land bank. You can also speak to our general administrative assistant who will be able to assist you with whatever need you have. You can always go to the Flint Property Portal, which is the flintpropertyportal.com. You can learn information about properties in the city of Flint, and you can also report blight issues. And there's a contact section as well to get in touch via the property portal. And lastly, on our website, which is the screenshot you see on the left, there is a contact section at the top toolbar. You can click on the contact and actually fill out a QT ticket. This will directly go to our website administrator and will be forwarded to various departments. This is actually just as fast as calling and leaving a voicemail. So you will receive a receipt number in return, and you can actually track the progress of your inquiry. And so lastly, you can also pick up the various forms like you'll learn today of the Ready for Rehab flyer at our downtown office on Saginaw Street, 452 South Saginaw. In the first floor of the lobby, you'll see all our flyers for our programs such as Featured Home, Ready for Rehab, and also our applications. You can also fill out and drop off those applications as you stop in on the first floor. And I will again mention this as we close. So without further ado, I'll hand this over to Alexandra and Jennifer.
Thank you, Moses, and thank you again. This is our third lunch break with the land bank. And Moses, thank you for introducing this as a platform for us from the land bank to be able to communicate directly with the community about our programs and services, and also to be able to get the feedback that we are looking for as we develop programs and as we continue to serve in our mission on behalf of the land bank to restore value to the community by acquiring, developing, and selling vacant and abandoned properties in cooperation with stakeholders who value responsible land ownership. And so I mentioned the feedback component, because that's very important. We have with us today, I know I've been a part of the first 2 lunch breaks with the land banks, and we have with us today a phenomenal lady who I am privileged to work with, and I'm very excited to introduce to you. But just before I do that, I want to give a little feedback on the exciting new program that we are introducing to you. When we did the initial 2 lunch break with the land banks, we provided information about our port and our demo sales. And from the feedback that we received from that, the feedback was phenomenal. And that's why it's important to have that engagement with you, so that we can hear your concerns and so that we can act upon that. And so we heard you. And so our director, Mr. Michael Freeman, our executive director, said, listen, let's roll out this new program. And so the sales team has actively been working with him to do that. The young lady that I mentioned, Jennifer Riggs, has been with the land bank for years, and I'll let her explain a little bit more about her background, but she was also instrumental in developing our featured homes program. And now today she is with us to talk more about our Ready for Rehab program. And so I'm excited to introduce her, and I'm going to take a back seat and hear the details that I'm sure you all are excited to hear about our new program. So without any further ado, Jennifer Riggs. Jennifer.
Hi, nice
Hi.
to see everyone. Moses, do you want to unshare and I'll share and keep going? All right, so let's get to where we were. So this is our new program, Ready for Rehab. The homes that are going to be shown in this program are homes that are in poor condition. Previously, most everyone now is familiar with the featured home program. In that program, those were homes that we considered to be in good or fair condition, but we heard a lot from the community about poor condition homes and the access to them. So this new program, as Alexandria said, has arose from that. So these homes are homes we think are in poor condition, but are not quite in the demolition category yet. They're not quite substandard. So we'd like to see them get rehabbed, hence the name of the program, Ready for Rehab. So these are homes where the price point is going to be a bit less than featured homes, obviously because of the condition. The open house style is going to be very similar to featured homes, in fact, identical. You can go right out to the home and look at it. We're going to be sending out emails. In fact, you may have already received one this morning at about 5 a.m. Our first Ready for Rehab email went out. And it looks very similar to that other program as far as, the open house dates and times will be out there. You can go out to them. You can check them out in the email. The flyers on the wall that Moses showed you in our lobby of our building will be out there as well, just like with the featured homes. As well, you can always go out to our website and you can sign up for the email out there. There's a new page called Ready for Rehab. You can find it in all the same places you found the featured home page. It's right next to it. And it looks similar. And we did revamp that page as well as revamp the featured home page so that they have a little bit of a different look and hopefully more easily used. I know the old one was a bit harder to see. So this is the new program, but there are some differences as well. As you may remember, if anybody who's been through our poor condition of properties sales, they were a bit more difficult to purchase because you needed a contractor and you had to get them to get you an estimate. So we've removed those boundaries. You no longer need a contractor to see these properties. The offer form is going to look similar but different from the featured home program. So you'll go out there, you'll look at the home, you'll sign in like you always do and get the offer form. We're going to have some helpful tools out there that you can pick up, flyers that'll help you to figure out what this home is all about. But this offer form is a little bit different because instead of us just saying, how much do you want to offer on this property? Give us proof of that. We're going to be asking you to come up with some costs, what it's going to cost you think yourself to renovate this property or for you to have a contractor help you renovate this property. So this is the offer form. On the first page, it's very similar to the featured home page, featured home offer form. Same sort of questions. The biggest difference here is that we're not offering land contracts on these homes, just like before with poor condition homes. We don't offer laying contracts on those. So it has to be a cash offer. And then on the second page, this is where we get into the meat and potatoes. We've got the renovation estimate here. So we're asking you to look around the home while you're out there and figure out what you think it's going to cost. We're going to give you a cost sheet that'll help you to understand the square foot cost for renovations. And then we're looking for the big ticket items and what you think it's going to cost for the furnace that's missing, or the roof that has a hole in it, or the window that's broken, so on and so forth. And then when you submit this offer, just like with featured homes, there's some documents we need submitted. And on this first page here, we've got it spelled out. We always need a copy of your valid picture ID. So always make a copy of that. We need proof of funds for your offer amount, just like with the featured home program. And then we need proof of funds or financing for the renovation costs. So this number here, this bottom number of what you came up with, what it's going to cost you, we need to see proof that you have either funds or financing available to complete those renovations. That way we can make sure that you have the feasibility to bring the home up to code, to put it back into productive use. We don't want the blight to sit there and continue. So that's our ultimate goal, is to remove the blight from the community. So with that form and those documents submitted, we will consider your offer. One other thing to note is, if you have purchased a poor condition home from us before, there's one more bullet point for you. We'll only sell one at a time, and this is similar to how the program ran before. We want to see you invest in that first poor condition home before we'll sell you a second one. So when you're submitting your documents, if this is home number 2 for you in this program, or a previous poor condition purchase, we're going to ask for you to submit before and after pictures, or copies of signed off permits from the local unit of government showing that you've completed the work and you've done the investment in home number 1 before you're asking to purchase home number 2. So one more added item, but you know, if you're doing your work out there, as we know you are, that won't be a hard thing to do. So submit those documents, we'll consider your offer. Just like with the featured home program, sorry, I jumped ahead on us. It's a highest and best scenario. So we're asking for all highest and best offers. Highest is explanatory, but best is not always easy for people to understand. We're looking for what's going to bring the home up to code, put it back into productive use, and be good for the community. So that's where that best comes in when we're looking at offers. So on this next slide here, these are the typical repairs and major repairs. We worked really hard with some contractors we know and the city of Flint to make sure that we had proper pricing. Shout out to Moses on this. He worked really hard at making sure these numbers were as accurate as possible so that we could really give you some help to figure out what is the cost to renovate this home. We understand that, you know, some folks have done this 100 times and they already know this information, but other folks don't, and this is their first renovation. So we wanted to give you some useful tools so that you can know what to expect, so that you don't get yourself into a scenario where you purchase the home and you start working on it and find out that it's going to be way more than you can do. So we don't want to set you up for fail. So we're doing our best here, and these numbers are going to be at all of the open houses. There'll be a flyer that we'll pass out that you can pick up at any one of the Ready for Rehab open houses. It'll be available to you, and you can pick up as many copies as you need to help figure that out. And we are also, when we hand out those consent forms, you may have seen those at the featured homes before, when the city has condemned a home. We are also going to be handing those out for this as well. Those are forms you can take directly down to the City of Flint Building Department or your local unit if it's outside of the city of Flint, and talk to the building department about what it means to renovate that home, what to expect when pulling permits, how much they're going to cost. We kind of gave you some definitions because some people don't really know what condemnation means. It sounds big and scary. I know it scared me when we first started going through this. But really what it means is that the city has inspected the home and they determine that there's permits that need to be pulled before and work to be done before somebody could move into the home so that it's safe for them. So we kind of go through a little bit on the back of that form what those mean. We always encourage you to reach out to the City of Flint Building Department or whatever local building department the home happens to be in, like Mount Morris Township or Genesee Township or so on, so that you know what you're getting yourself into when you're purchasing one of these homes. And then there's the main takeaways. So the big thing is this is open house format. So you no longer have to submit an application to see these homes. You just show up and look at them. Cost estimates, we're asking you to come up with your own cost estimates. Of course, you're welcome to talk to a contractor. If you have one, we encourage it. But if you don't, or you don't want to, and you know this information yourself, you're welcome to do your own estimates now. And then always, we need proof of funds and or financing for the purchase and the renovation so that we're sure that this work will get done accordingly. And then this is the timeline. It's just like with the featured home program, the timeline is similar. So we advertise it for a couple of weeks, then we have the open house, and then you submit your offer. And as soon as we accept an offer, we do try to go right to closing within a week if possible. We will give you up to 21 days after we've accepted your offer to close. But we do want to take care of that right away so that that home isn't sitting there vacant any longer and you can get right on to working on it. Here's an example of our new flyer. It looks similar but different from the featured home program. We're going to try to do 4 a week, although there probably will be more. But for starting out, there's going to be 4 every week. They're generally a morning or an afternoon. And just like with featured homes, just show up and look at the home. It gives you the deadline here at the bottom so that you know when your offer is due. As always, you can email those offers to us at offers@thelandbank.org. There's also a drop box in the lobby of the building that you can put it in. We do accept faxes, although faxes can be tricky because we want to make sure that we receive them. So I always encourage offers by email or by Dropbox. And then questions and answers. And I think Moses pulled some questions that we've received ahead of time from Facebook. So I'll read them and go through them and ask Alexandria to jump in on any of them that I'm not sure about. It says, is priority given to individuals or businesses seeking to rehab for ownership? Yes, that's part of that best. When we say highest and best offers, we're not discouraging investors, but we're also definitely encouraging home ownership. We want to see home ownership. We know that that is very valuable in the community to have homeowners in homes. They get taken care of better. So when we're looking at offers, we are definitely always looking at what is your purpose. And in the offer form, it does actually ask that question. What is your use going to be for this home? So that we can take that into consideration when considering your offer. Why require proof of funds for the total rehab project up front? That is a very good question. So often people will ask this and they'll ask, why can't I just move into the home while I'm renovating it? And the simple answer is this home is not safe as it sits. It's in poor condition. There are a lot of things that need to be done to it. And where permitting comes in is where the building department is wanting to confirm that work that is done, completed, and safe. So that's why we want to see these renovation costs up front. We want to make sure that the work that's going to require permits, that's going to make the home safe for you, can be completed before you move into the home. This does not mean that the walls have to be painted or the carpet has to be installed, but it does mean you have to have a working furnace, hot water heater, no holes in the roof, the foundation is sturdy, things that are going to make that home safe for you and your family to be in. So that's why we look for that upfront proof that you have the money to do the work.
If I can just interject.
Yes, Alex.
You did incredible in describing how safety is certainly a priority for us. And if I could just add, Jennifer, to what you were saying, in addition to the safety aspect, we also want to make sure that you have the capacity to perform. We deal with a lot of properties. Most of our properties come to us by virtue of tax foreclosure. And so as a result of that, we want to ensure that this property is going to be repaired, going to be put back on the tax roll, and going to be able to be put back into productive use. We don't want it being returned because someone says, I got into this, I did not understand what needed to be done. And that's why Jennifer talked specifically about the repairs that need to be done on these properties up front so that you know exactly what you're getting into, so there are no surprises. And also from our end, we're able to see that you have the capacity to actually put that property back into productive use and that you can perform. And on top of making sure that that property will be safe. So I just wanted to add that, Jen.
Thank you. Thank you. That was very important to add. Can I purchase multiple properties at a time? So I touched on that a little bit. With this program, the answer is, in short, no. But that being said, if you purchase house one that's in poor condition, and then you complete the work, you submit an offer for house two with proof of work, we're going to be more apt to sell you house two. And then when house two is done, if you come back to us looking for houses 3 and 4, well, we've seen that you've completed houses 1 and 2, and we're going to feel more comfortable that you have the capacity, as Alexandria was just saying, to complete more. So it's not a hard no, but it is a no in the beginning, because we want to make sure that we're building that capacity and that we're comfortable that you can do the work. So if you came in and wanted to buy 6 poor condition homes at once, we would ask you to pick which one you really, really want first. Are there payment plans for owner occupants? With payment plans, that would be a land contract. That's the only mechanism we have for that. And we only do those with featured homes. So I would suggest anybody that is looking for a home that wants to do a land contract with the land bank, that they look at the featured home program. That's going to be homes that are in better condition and need less work. The poor condition homes, because of the condition of them, we don't feel comfortable financing them right now. So I would definitely encourage you to look at those featured homes, unless you wanted to do cash, and then obviously look at the rehab and ready as well. Do you need to submit an application for each property? The answer though is no as well. We encourage you to check out the ones that we have each week. There'll be at least 4 new ones. If there's a specific home that's near and dear to your heart and you want to hear back from us on when it's going to be available, you are so welcome to submit an application, but we're encouraging folks to just look to see what we have, because we're going to continue to be inspecting these and evaluating them and getting them teed up to be in this program, anything that's in poor condition. But if you have already submitted an application, don't worry, we will get a hold of you. We're going to let you know when the open house date and time is so that you can come check it out like everybody else. All right, there's our contact information. The same contact page. Moses, did you have anything else you wanted to add to that one, or Alexandria?
So Jen, I had a few questions coming in via
Sure.
Facebook. And so one of the questions is there a time frame for getting the rehab work completed?
Alexandria, do you guys have a time frame?
So the time frame that we typically look at is we want work to be done as immediately as possible. And as Jennifer indicated, a lot of our poor condition properties, obviously they require substantial investment. And so we look at the track record if another request is being made for another purchase, but within the window of the purchase and the rehab, we would like between 6 to 12 months for it to be completed. That is ideal for us. And we also want to showcase some of the work that is being done. And so we ask that you keep in contact with us as you progress with the project and with the homes and the work that is being done on those properties, because we're always happy to, we have certain programs as well that assist homeowners with rehab. And so we have some community partners that have stepped forward with, for in particular, the energy efficiency program. And so if we have any resources or any tools that we can share with the community to assist in that process, certainly we want to do that. And we also want to get the feedback and hear back as we progress and as we complete that work on these properties.
Thank you. Another question we have, which I think is a little bit more nuanced than it says, is are Flint residents given priorities when they submit offers?
We are the Genesee County Land Bank Authority, and so there is preference given to Genesee County residents. So that is a great question, but yes, we give preference to Genesee County residents, and we also give preference to anyone out county that is looking to invest in the city of Flint or in Genesee County, any of our neighboring communities, cities and townships, villages within Genesee County. If they're looking to relocate and become a Genesee County resident, we give them preference as well.
Thank you. And I think this also speaks to when Jennifer was sharing, this is what's evaluated when we consider best offer. We are interested in and do track, are people buying to rehab to reside in? Are they buying to rehab and sell to another buyer? We do track information of where potential buyers are from. So I do want to be very explicit that yes, we do consider Clint residents, particularly when evaluating what is the best offer we are receiving. And then another kind of nuanced question is, why is it so hard to purchase from the land bank? And I'm just going to start this off, and then I want Alex and Jennifer to chime in as they're more experienced and wiser than I. A lot of times when I hear this in the community, because much of my role is also community facing, there's a myriad of reasons why people may feel that they're receiving difficulty in their application or in the offers. And I want to first start and say, when it comes to featured home or potentially soon to be ready for rehab, there are many offers being submitted. So it is not that one application is being discounted against the other. We're weighing again, what is the best and what is the highest offer? So what is the cross point of those two metrics? And so now I'll hand it over to Alex or Jennifer, if you'd like to add on to that.
Jennifer, do you want to add on anything? I was just going to say that it's and you mentioned it well, Moses, but it's a balance there, because when we say highest and best, that doesn't necessarily mean highest. We look at the priorities for disposition of sales, and that is a determinant on what is the intended use of the property. Are you a Genesee County resident? What are you looking to do? Have you had any previous tax foreclosures in the past? And a lot of applicants share with us compelling stories. They say, this is going to be my first time purchasing a home, and I'm looking to purchase this home for my family. We have investors that come in and say, I'm not a typical real estate investor. I want to invest, isn't going to be my home, but I'm purchasing for a family member who is in need of housing. And so we look at all of those factors and we create that balance between what is the highest price and what is the best offer. And so we merge the two and we score those properties accordingly. And that's how we sell the properties, in accordance with our metrics and in accordance with our priorities for sale.
Yes, and I was just going to say that, as Moses said, we are getting a lot of offers. We're not really sure how this ready for rehab will go yet and how many we're going to get. We'll see. But with typical featured homes, we could get anything from only one offer to 30 or 40 or 50 offers. So if your offer is not accepted on the first house or the second house or the third house, do not get discouraged. You may have been in the running with a lot of other people, and then we can only sell it to one person. It's not like we can sell it to more than that. So just keep looking, just keep submitting offers. The housing market right now is difficult for buyers. We understand that things are very competitive, and we try to keep that when we're looking at the best, as Alex says, we're not just always looking at the highest. We keep that in mind, but we can only sell one home to one person or one family at a time. So just keep trying, just keep looking. Make sure you come out to the open houses. That is one of the requirements for purchasing in either program, is that you have to attend the open house. So come on out, check them out, get the offer forms, and just make sure that you dot your I's, cross your T's when you submit your offers, so that we can definitely evaluate them and see if you can be the highest and best.
Thank you. So just to close and recap, if you are interested in getting in contact with the Genesee County Land Bank, again, we are available by phone, through the Flint Property Portal, or through our Genesee County Land Bank website. There's a contact section on our website that is actually even faster than calling in to submit an inquiry. You will receive a tracking number, and you can actually see the progress and updates in regards to your inquiry. And then Jen, if you can flip to the last slide there. Thank you. And so you will actually be able to pick up physical copies of the Ready for Rehab flyer starting next week. As Jennifer showed that there are 4 properties starting next week for Ready for Rehab. You can pick that up on the first floor of our lobby. You can go to a showing and then even submit your offer if interested, again, back on the first floor of our lobby in the black drop box that you see in the bottom left corner of your screen. So I just want to thank everyone for your time and tuning in today. This is by far the most activity we've had during a lunch break with the land bank, and we're very excited to see people's interest in how to participate in this new program and to really fast track the sales of these specific properties. So thank you, Jennifer. Thank you, Alex, for lending
Thank you.
your expertise and wisdom and helping us launch this new program.
Thank you. And thanks to all of you who are tuning in and watching this playback later.
Thank you.
Wonderful. Thanks so much. Well, everyone have a good day and thank you so much. Goodbye.